does it take to screw in a light bulb? We're about to see.
YouTube, sorry.
Oh, you're good. We're about to see how many idiots it takes to fix a set of headphones.
Don't bang into my cameras there. Please.
Oh yeah, Dylan, be careful of the cameras. Everything is very tightly fitted this week.
That's what she said.
Ask any girl in town.
No.
Asked the two Gabe had here last night.
Oh.
Hey now. You can though.
Rave reviews?
Oh yeah.
It is a little better. What about like if you follow?
No, I meant would they give you rave reviews?
Oh no, I don't think so.
Oh really?
No, no one would do that.
That's better. It's getting better.
It used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that better?
I don't know what you're doing, but yeah, it's better. That's even better.
He's got his pinky in your ass.
That's really good.
You know, I figured.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna move it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Get out of there, Dylan.
So
we are going live to Facebook right now.
We are on time. What?
I still am not hearing like I can hear the music fine,
Yeah.
but I still am not hearing your voice like
My
through
voice?
Yellow.
Like,
Can you hear
I your
Dylan?
voice like this, but not through.
Can you hear Dylan?
Well,
You can't hear Dylan?
So I'm gonna
Gabe.
have a tough time hearing Gabe too.
whatever's with that audio jack, it was like loose or being weird. We have too many cords right now. Whatever's happening
Yeah.
here, I'm trapped.
I think what we should invest in for Christmas for Gabe is wireless headsets.
Fuck no, no wireless.
No?
Wireless shit is so unreliable. I hate it.
What'd you say? Unreliable?
Hey, you heard him.
Wireless shit, yeah, it cuts out stuff. Like I would even do comedy shows with wireless mics. Like
Oh, really? You have the mic?
what's that?
You like the mic on a cord?
Sure, because they cut out all the time.
Oh, really?
Those mics, yeah, they run out of batteries. They're just a
There's
fucking
just
pain in the ass.
yeah.
Too many negatives versus a positive.
So do you know,
Gabe also
Through this way, Gabe.
is yours this one?
Gabe also strikes me as one of the comedians that also has just enough.
It's the one that was in number 4.
So let's see. Oh no, keep it real quick. I'm gonna see if it's this connection.
It's gonna be a very interesting part of this podcast, folks. Bear with us. We'll be with you in just a couple of minutes. For those of you that are on Facebook or YouTube, we are fixing an audio problem for Mike, and then we will be rolling. So
We're here. I'm gonna post on Twitter and
oh yeah, that's right. Go ahead and do your sharing during this incredibly silent part of the episode.
Okay.
How about now, Mike? We live.
That's better.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Way better.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gabe. Oh my gosh.
This is
like,
hey, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we pay a producer.
This is why.
Because guess what would have happened if it would have been me and Mike by ourselves? Today's episode probably doesn't get done.
wow, I should have tried something, but you never know.
Oh my gosh. It is like a whole new world.
You want to sing it?
Sing what?
Why can't I hit paste? I'm triggered.
God damn it.
What'd you say? What? God damn it! Why? God damn it! What?
God damn it. What?
Are you alive back there, Gabe? Did you die?
Now I am. I had to plug this shit back in. I had to come in there and wipe Mike's ass for him. No, I'm joking. Okay. All right, gents. The show belongs to you.
Hang on, give us a minute here. We're sharing. You said bring me some professionals.
That's right. Thank you.
I think he was talking about us. Yeah.
Why did that just fuck up?
Dylan, language.
Sorry.
I don't care. All right, we good, boys? We ready?
Yes, sir.
What's the date today, Mike, before I fuck this up?
April 6th.
that?
There we go.
We had to bring in a third guy just for this.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of Glass Half Sports. My name is Nick Huffman with you guys as always. It is April 6th, 2023, and it has been an interesting morning here in the studio already. I am joined by my best friends in the remaining portion of the brain power for this episode, Mike and Dylan. How you boys doing this morning?
Doing phenomenal.
Doing well.
Glad that you can hear things now, Mike?
Yeah.
Well, now that you can hear things, why don't you tell the folks what we got for them this week?
Yeah, as always, guys, we have a huge show for you today. We're going to break down our Minnesota sports, go through. We have a couple teams entering playoff watch.
And one starting.
And then we're going to go NFL offseason sizzler, just touch base on a few things happening around the NFL. There was a ton of boxing news.
A ton.
That we want to touch on off the back of the Garcia fight. And then MLB 30 under 30 segment continues as well. And then we're going to talk about the Masters somewhere in there as well.
Yeah, the Masters will be talked about, that is for sure. And that is why Dylan is with us today and appropriately wearing green.
I am here to talk about hockey and golf. So
I think you nailed it. Wild green and Masters green. I think he nailed it. 10 out of 10.
Be there today.
Stuck the landing with the sunglasses.
Well, I don't know about that. Try to be here for the people today.
Be here for the people. Do you have a Tiger update for us before we get all the way into the show?
Well, I'm watching the group right now, and he's not on it.
He's not on it.
He's paired up with Victor Hovland, who's still 2 under. Justin Thomas is hitting right now, but as soon as I have an update, I'll let you know.
Fantastic. Mike, why don't you let them know where they can find the show and where they should share it, because this is a growing community.
Yeah, as always, guys, you can find us on social media on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Spotify, YouTube, and Patreon. We do have a Twitch out there that's going to be starting here soon. Nick has a series in the works
for MLB The Show.
Behind the scenes for MLB The Show that hopefully you'll have time to check out. And then, as always, we are found on local cable here in the Twin Cities area on MCN6. You can access that through throughout the world.
Yeah,
through your
anywhere.
Roku remote MCN6.
That's right. You want to get started with a little bit of Vikings vision? Not a whole lot for the people today.
I'm not going to start with Vikings.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Actually, I'm going to start with Wolves Watch.
There we go. I'm going to let Mike drive the show.
With the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are really just treading water. Like, they've clinched the playoff spot at this point.
Play in.
It's playoff.
It is not a playoff spot.
It's a playoff.
I
will still argue with you on this. They're 40-40 sitting in the 9 seed right now.
Yeah.
So 2 games left.
Yes.
And we could, in theory, go up to the 7.
But you would have to play perfect and have things fall your way. Listen, the Wolves had a chance. They had a chance to really separate themselves. Beating LA was something that you should be able to do. And then that absolute collapse that you have in Portland.
Lillard-less Blazers.
Yeah.
Lose.
That's very concerning for, the people that always are like, oh, well, why did, I've mentioned on the show, I don't necessarily think does them any good to get into the play-in, but I know that's a little bit of an irrational statement. I just know what's coming, which is disappointment. That's who this team is. We got Cat back, and all of a sudden, once again, what happened? We started to lose games we shouldn't have, and I think you can tie that directly back to the impact that he has on the locker room.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily the locker room. I understand that perspective. I think it's just the flow on the court, right? The flow on the court is interrupted because you have a second big now. And
it doesn't work in today's NBA.
All year is we're going to figure it out. Yeah. We've been holding our breath all season. There's 2 games left. We're still holding our breath. And that's going to be the death of the Wolves because there's no life or breath in this offense.
Yeah.
There's no space. There's nothing because you have 2 bigs. So,
unfortunately,
I think we're going to see probably a playoff exit before we get to the first round.
Yeah.
In the play-in games. And it's unfortunate because this team should not be there. They should be a 5 seed. I still stand by what I said at the beginning of the season. This should be a 5 seed team.
Can I say those jerseys are fucking hideous?
Yeah,
I know.
They're terrible.
They're god awful.
They look like the towers downtown.
So it's so rare to see a true NBA like power duo, right? You think of the great pairings around the league. If your pairing can put up 50 points, you're usually in a pretty good position to win a lot of ball games because you don't need a ton of bench help. Over that 2 game or 3 game stretch where the Wolves lost between Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns, they averaged 53 points between the two of them. And we lost all 3 games. How is it possible that we have one of the most talented duos and are putting up the numbers and still losing games?
You don't play defense.
And that comes from...
You don't play defense on the other end. To me, the biggest problem with this entire organization right now, as unfortunate as it is, it's honestly Chris Finch.
Yeah.
It's his lack of controlling Cat and telling him he is a cog in a machine. Like it falls on Finch's shoulders. It really does, because the talent on the roster is better than a 9 seed. Is it?
Yeah.
Not?
We said on paper this is a Western Conference championship level
Finalist.
roster. Yeah. I mean, maybe you're getting bounced and that's their ceiling, right? But still, that's a top 8 team in the league.
Top 4 team in your conference for sure.
Exactly. And so for this, what the Wolves really need is either personnel changes or a coaching change. And I'm okay with either at this point, because I think you can get enough back for Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
But if you're going to keep him, you then need to go get yourself your Phil Jackson, your Zen guy, your guy that's your Steve Kerr, the guy that's going to be able to manage all the egos, or your Greg Popovich that's going to get the best out of everybody.
I agree with you, but unfortunately we're a 10th or 12th market size team. It's Minnesota in the winter. We're never going to get that guy.
Yeah.
So it's just
unfortunately that's true.
Yeah, it's just the unfortunate state of.
You think
Minnesota
KG would ever take the coaching job?
KG?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
He wants to be involved in the team.
Maybe under A-Rod and Laurie in a couple years, once Glenn is completely gone and out.
Or would you bring Sam Cassell back?
Because his hate is for Glenn Taylor. It's not the organization.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if he.
He's so involved in the game still.
I know, but if that's gonna happen, it's gonna be years out. It's not gonna happen like that.
Yeah.
No.
Tim is back.
Hey.
What's up, Timmy?
What's up, Sam?
It's always good to see Tim.
Hey,
we haven't seen him in a
Dino.
while.
What's up, Dino?
What's up, Jordan? So, anything else on the Wolves?
We're basically just holding our breath still, waiting to see what playoff seed we get and who's going to eliminate us.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Isn't that a great state of affairs for a team that we had such high hopes for?
Well, while we're speaking about first round exits, let's pivot and talk about the
Whoa!
Minnesota Wild.
Hey.
Tell me why you disagree.
Well, I can't with you right now because it was really
Okay, that's what I
disappointing.
thought.
It was
explain it to me why
it
you
was
disagree.
super disappointing to watch them only get 1 of 4 points against a team that they could have then leapfrogged and secured home ice advantage for. That's just bad. That's bad hockey.
It's bad hockey. We didn't control offensive plays. We didn't capitalize on the power plays.
So you're telling me in crunch time we didn't play very well?
That and we
Kind of like you're going to need that in the playoffs.
that and we need to play. So
Shocking. I'm sorry.
we need to play. We need to play Gustafsson.
Oh,
He has
look at
to
this.
be.
Yes, he
I'm
needs to be
saying
the
it right
one.
now.
Look at
He
this.
has to be our playoff goalie, hands down. I love Fleury, but he has to be our playoff goalie. But I was just reading the news yesterday, and allegedly, per source from WCCO, has a guy allegedly. Kirill will be back for the last 3 regular season
Yeah, I
games.
heard that too. Yep.
Possibly, maybe come back Saturday at home. Probably won't. But he'll be back next week, and we'll play against, what is it?
It's the Blackhawks would be his first game back.
First game back.
So if he comes back Saturday, I wanted to ask you this actually because I heard that same story, right?
Yeah.
If he comes back Saturday, his first game back is against the Blues.
Correct.
I personally would not do that.
No, that's
The
a
Blues are known
super
of
physical
being a
matchup.
Physical,
No,
bigger team,
right.
right? That kind of
We want
imposes
them-
their will.
We want him healthy
Yeah. So
going into playoffs. So we don't. I don't see him come back Saturday. I see him come against Blackhawks in the next week and into the playoffs.
to be honest, so it's Blackhawks, Jets, Preds to finish the season.
Easy.
The
That's why
Preds
they-
are physical though too. Correct me
Yeah,
if I'm
but
wrong.
they're.
I was
they're-
just going to propose Blackhawks, Jets, give them a day off, go into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they might do that. They'll play him probably 100% against the Blackhawks. Blackhawks are the worst in the league this year by far. And then they'll definitely play him at home. Our last home game for sure, because everyone's going to want the homecoming of their young god, Kirill.
I mean, that's what everybody wants.
But
So with how tight the standings are, Dilly, what are you seeing? Where are we going to be at? Who's our first round
Who's the first round matchup?
and who maybe
Gets the tilt?
gets the nod? Like what I've been hearing is, especially when I cannot remember his name currently. The guy we traded for that's been hurt the entire time. He's about to come back.
Nyquist.
Nyquist. Yep.
So with
He's
Nyquist
too.
coming
They're
back-
both coming back at the end, before the end of the season.
Someone's the odd man out though.
Someone's odd man out. Odd man out is definitely, well,
It's going to be Steele, right?
It's going to be Sam Steele, more than likely. Let me look at the team here. Let me get the roster.
But he's kind of been the fringe. He's been the fringe guy all year.
I mean, if you look at any of those third, fourth line guys, I mean, Revo is definitely going to come to playoffs with us because we need him to muck people. But you got people like Sam Steele. Shaw's out now with his ACL, so there's only one guy.
Fourth ACL?
Fourth ACL tear.
Holy balls.
If anybody...
Would Revo be the odd man out if we played a smaller, faster lineup?
Yes. That, or I would say Duhame or Dewar. One of those guys are kind of swing line guys.
Okay.
Maybe Sundqvist, but Sundqvist has been playing good. I don't know.
Here, let me ask you this. Who's your ideal matchup and who's your least favorable matchup in the first round?
Ideal matchup? I mean, ideally, well, who's all in right now? Who's guaranteed in?
Guaranteed in right now, Kings, Oilers, Knights, Wild Stars, Avs.
I'd rather, ideal matchup right now, I'd rather play Vegas.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd rather play Vegas or LA Kings.
You don't want to get the Avs in the first round. You just
you want to stay away from the Avs.
You don't want Avs or Oilers first round. You don't want to go
Stars
against
scare
McDavid.
you?
No, I mean Dallas. We could do.
I kind of like that matchup.
Dallas is very fast. They are really such a fast team, and that's what the Minnesota tends to play with when they're playing well is speed. And so I could see it becoming one of those series where we almost get outrun. We don't have the tanks that they do because we did bring in some veteran guys at the deadline. Yeah. So I'd much rather stay away from something that's going to be a little bit of a sprint.
Okay. So who's your ideal matchup then? The Knights?
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, if we have everybody healthy and back and Gustafsson in goal, I'm saying that matchup should be 2 easy wins.
Oh, yeah.
If we had all of our guys that we just lost to this last weekend,
Kirill on the ice makes a big difference against Vegas.
If
a big
still
difference.
Playing the same way that they were playing without Kirill, and then we just add the 2 guys, I mean...
Now here's the question.
Should be a game changer.
As a guy that's got a lot of on ice time, when you have somebody like that that's very puck dominant, he's the center of the offense like that. I know in other sports like basketball, it could be hard to reintegrate. It's hard to add a wide receiver or a running back into an offense after it's kind of gotten a rhythm in football. In hockey, is it the same? Is it just as difficult to ball handling and who's on goal?
I mean, so I've been reading up on this week, and he's been skating for the last week and a half, week and a half in practice he's going full speed, but no contact practice for jersey for him. So he's still playing with his line of Boldy and Zuccarello, and he's doing power play stuff. So integrating it back into actual in game, it shouldn't be that big of a difference. All the guys already know that he's going to be back. So
and that's why I think we bring him back against the Blackhawks.
Oh, he'll light up the Blackhawks.
Yeah, the worst team in the NHL.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like what college football teams do to start the year.
They're throwing the league.
Let's play Appalachian State.
Connor Bedard.
Right. I guess my concern was more: are you worried that when Kirill gets back, that we're going to see regression from Matt Bolt? Like, how hard is that to fend off when you're bringing a guy of Kirill's caliber back?
At this point in the season, how late it is, I think everyone is going to still play full bore hockey, if not harder, because we're going into playoffs.
Okay.
And I don't see. I mean, look at how we've been playing. I know we haven't had the best couple of games. I mean,
well, we've been the hottest team in the NHL.
The last month, we've been the hottest team in the NHL without our star player.
Right. Yeah.
I think the Boldy thing was a confidence thing.
And Boldy got the green light from Bill Guerin and Dean Evison saying, "Hey, go light the lamp. It's your time to shine. Show them what you can do. Yep. You're the star now. Yep. Like you're number one. Kirill's off, and when he gets back, I need you to still mentality be number one because you both could be. Like you're that good of players. Yeah. But obviously, Kirill the Thrill is gonna be back, and we'll see. All
right. So Minnesota Wild scheduling or upcoming schedule.
Yeah, their last playoff caliber game is going to be tonight, right?
Pittsburgh. Tonight and Saturday. So tonight they got Pittsburgh, and Saturday we got St. Louis.
Okay.
Got the Blues. But then, going into next week, the only people I'd see that would be any problem would be Winnipeg. Other than that, Chicago, easy game. Nashville should be a tight game.
Nashville is 3 points behind Winnipeg, and Winnipeg has a game in hand, too. So. Yeah. That might be interesting.
Those last 2 games will be interesting, but again, they got to fight for their spot and figure it out.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go Wild.
Let's go Wild.
With that, let's transition to Minnesota Twins.
Yeah. Enthused, impressed, and encouraged by what I saw early in the season from the Minnesota Twins. To be quite honest with you, the pitching is way ahead of where I thought it was going to be.
Agreed.
Some of the hitters are way ahead of where I thought they were going to be. Guys like Joey Gallo, guys like Trevor Larnach, and the managerial decision-making of Rocco Baldelli to force the hands of, and play the game with the pitch clock and the relievers and his defensive subs. He's played it like chess to start the year. Mike, your thoughts on the Twins as they've opened up here?
Better than expected, but still leaving things on the table, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating thing is over 162 game season, that's what you're really trying to limit is if you can stop leaving things on the table or easy wins that you lose.
Yeah.
Those can add up quick to a 9,500 win season.
Sure.
In the playoffs, right?
Sure.
So to me, I get that it was Sandy on the mound, but you can't not put up a run.
No, I totally get it. And by the way, Kenta Maeda's 9 strikeout. He's
He pitched an absolute gem in a loss.
Yeah,
like
that's what you have to avoid, right? And especially with the offense. That's for last year. Even with everybody healthy last year at this point in the season, I could understand getting shut out.
Yeah.
At any point this season, getting shut out with the guys that you have.
Yeah.
In the dugout is not acceptable. Like they call Donovan Solano, Donnie Barrels, because he barrels up a lot of baseballs. And if he's on base, maybe twice a game, Buxton, Correa, Miranda, or Larnach should be able to drive that run home. Yeah. There's a stretch, and we're going to be getting Polanco back as well. Obviously, he starts the year on the IL, but
I just have a question.
Yeah.
How do you go from 11-1 to then losing back-to-back games?
Because Sandy Alcantara is a Cy Young candidate.
Okay.
That guy...
The Marlins scored the same amount of runs in Game 1 and Game 2 of the series.
Yeah.
We scored 11 and then 0.
And then 0. That's where I don't...
No, I mean, he was literally the National League Cy Young last year, and I get that he is a great pitcher. However, even great pitchers don't have 0 ERAs, right?
Oh, yeah.
You got to scratch across... Go back to 1999 Minnesota Twins small ball. If you have to scratch a run across, but... You got to score 1.
You gotta.
You got to score 1, right? And then the next day was, to me, frustrating in a different light, right? Again, you get a great starting pitching outing by Pablo Lopez, pitches 7 innings, gives up only 3 hits, has 8 strikeouts, gives up a run. 8th inning happens, it's 1-1. Twins don't do anything in the top of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th comes around, Griffin Jacks goes out on the bump and allows 2 runs.
Yep.
And then Caleb Thielbar comes in and allows 2 runs. And now the Twins are down 5-1.
Yep.
It's like, guys, you're in a game here against a team that you should be beating.
Figure it out.
Your star power needs to be able to get to the Twins' recipe for winning this year is already very apparent. Drive up the pitch count, seal out it should be stingy at bats from guys like Nick Gordon, Trevor Larnach, Kirilloff when he's in the game. Those guys that aren't primary hitters, your job is to drive the pitch count up and get the starter out early.
Yep.
Because if you can get the starter out early, guys like Correa, Buxton, Miranda, those guys will eat up relievers. And if you do that in Game 1 and thin out the bullpen, that's what they did to the Royals. Yep. And then all of a sudden you had success throughout the rest of the series, right? So it's just got to be...
Well, the Marlins wouldn't have had a bullpen left if we could have gotten past Sandy.
Exactly. So there's a lot of good for the Twins. A lot of
good, and that's the thing is and I get that they're a great team in the MLB loses 62 games.
Yeah,
right? It's not lost on me. But these games, in my opinion, are the difference between a 100-win season or an 81-win season.
Absolutely,
they add up quick, right?
Absolutely. And hey, Gabe, I don't mean to call you out. Are we having graphics problems in the back? If he's even back there right now.
Ooh,
are we flying solo right now?
We're solo right now.
Fair enough.
Well.
All right, cool. Let's kick on.
So,
actually,
wait, predictions though. Who do you think? How's this Astros gonna go?
Let's. How about we do this, Dylan? Can you give us a little bit of a check-in on the Masters?
Yes,
I am gonna go check
Tiger's
on Gabe.
Putting. I'm trying to get it up here, but the Wi-Fi is being slow, and he just sunk one for
I'm good.
What? There he is.
He just said he's good.
He made a par right now. I think he made.
I was fixing something. I'm sorry.
All good.
He was fixing something. He's sorry.
Oh no, it's all good. I was like, are we commando?
How long were you saying it? I had to unplug my headphones.
Oh no, I had literally said it, and then I was like, is he back there? I asked if we were having graphics problems, but I didn't know you were fixing something as we were rolling through the Twins.
All right.
He's got that for eagle. Wow.
Oh wow.
6 foot putt.
6 foot, 7, 8 foot putt for eagle. Something like
Who's on the leaderboard right now?
I'll have to look. Let me pull it.
Yeah, there you go. Who is the leader?
I'll have it pulled up. Give me a second.
There we go. So yeah. Oh, and then last thing I wanted to talk about, and we were talking about this obviously before the show. Impressed with Joey Gallo? Now you said he was going to be hitting below 200, and he's a career 199 hitter. So technically, he's hitting above average right now at 235. But to see this kind of power early, was this something you were expecting?
It's interesting because it's like as advertised, but the Twins always advertise these guys that are in the limelight of their careers and saying we can rejuvenate him. We're gonna bump his left elbow in his stance, and it's just gonna rejuvenate his power. It's gonna come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We never believe it.
No, and often
it might have been true.
And often it never happens. And often it never happens. Now I will say this:
he's 4 of 17 from the plate.
Yeah.
So it's like 238, I think.
Yep.
He has 3 home runs.
There you go.
3 of his 4 hits have gone over the fence. So not bad. Don't think it's sustainable, but hey.
I mean, hey, now if we can just increase the rate at which he puts the bat on the ball, we might be in good shape. But it does.
His swing does look so good, though.
It does, and you know what? It looks confident for the. And we talked about this in baseball weeks ago. When you're swinging like that, it's easy to get into a rhythm, and then you could see him hitting 250 and have 38 homers, and then you're like, oh, well worth the money we spent, right? So I think they just need to continue to play the matchups with him, find ways that he is going to succeed early, and then maybe grow that as the season goes on.
So one other thing that I've noticed a little bit, this team itself, culture-wise, seems a lot better than last year.
Yes, absolutely.
Just a little looser. Mm-hmm. Like they gel together a little bit more and enjoy playing together as well. And over a 162-game season, that can pay off as well.
Yeah, just the belief in their ability to win, right? Yeah. It does seem like they don't feel overmatched when they don't feel overmatched when they step out onto the diamond. Now, this will be a perfect segue. They're going to have a series coming up here that is going to show you how much that is true in the Houston Astros. You're going to get, Jose Altuve, Yordan Alvarez. They've got bats up and down that lineup, and they've got good arms in that rotation. So let's kick on over to some predictions. They've got them 3-game series at home to open, their home season, and then we go right into a division series against the Chicago White Sox. How do you think this goes?
I still think they're going to regress towards the mean currently. Okay. So I'm going to say that they finish those 6 games with a record of 6-6.
Okay.
So
are you going to make that one of your predictions?
Yeah. So I guessed it last week at 3-3.
Okay.
I still think that that's kind of where they are currently, is at 500.
Okay.
So I'm going to say it'll probably be them like stealing one against the Astros.
Oh, I was.
If not, they'll for sure win the series against the Sox and steal 2. So.
Okay. There's a matchup here that I think.
Literally, what I was going to say.
There's a matchup here that I was reading about on Twitter that I think is very interesting for the Minnesota Twins that could lead to some increased success against Houston. The catcher in the Houston Astros organization was Christian Vasquez, and I've already seen with the way that he has handled some of our starters that he is very good behind the dish, and he's going to know the guys in that dugout for Houston really well. And with our starters being Sonny Gray, Joe Ryan, and Tyler Mahe, guys that are kind of like workhorse arms if you need them to be, they can get you 7 innings. I would expect to see some success out of the starters again in this series.
I agree with you. The thing that scares the crap out of me is something that we talked to Nash Walker about in, February?
Sure.
Righty.
Yep.
And over a series against a team that's that good,
could be
they
trouble.
have some pretty big lefty bats, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to have to be perfect, because you're going to have to be perfect. But
are the Astros the best team in the American League, in your opinion?
Near the top.
They're probably
Near the
top three for sure, right?
Absolutely.
Like, inarguably top three.
Yeah.
Top three.
If we want to be a division winner and do things in the playoffs, these are the series that matter.
No, these are your
April or
early
not.
tests. These are your early tests. Who should show up in this series? Buxton should show up on the base paths and in center field potentially.
He has to show up.
Correa needs to show up. You know, you'd like to see a guy like Duran come in and close the door in close games and not blow a save, right?
True.
I'd really like to see
things
Joe
like-
Ryan have just a quality start. If he has a quality start against the Astros
That'd be great.
early in the season, that'd be amazing.
He's trending towards ace.
Yeah,
in my
100%.
opinion, very much so. Very, very much so.
Weird factoid on the show, he is the ace.
Yeah.
On the show, he is the ace of the Twins.
No, absolutely. So that was you got him at 6-6, and then what's your other prediction?
Has Buxton homered yet?
I do not believe so, but we can verify.
He is not.
He is not. Okay.
I'm going to say he hits his first homer.
Hits his first homer.
this week.
All right. All right. So for me, I got a point last week because we actually had two starters that went 6 innings, which is, hey, Rocco, good job. More of that as the season continues, please.
Agreed. As much as I hate that Nick got a point, we'll catch him.
So this week, I'm actually going to go with I'm gonna lean into the Joey Gallo skid here, and I'm going to say that he adds another 2 home runs to his total before the Chicago series is up. Okay. And then I'm also going to say the Twins are going to take 2 games against the Astros.
It's a bold take, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Dylan, you got anything else you want to touch on with the Twins?
No, I think that, what I was going to say is we'll probably go 1
Get your hands
and 2.
off my pizza.
1 and 2 against Astros and
No
2
eating in the
2 and 1
studio,
against
guys.
the Sox.
1 and 2 against the Stros, 2 and 1 against the Sox.
That's what I'm predicting.
I don't disagree. I think that's a really good take.
Yeah. And, by the way, we could potentially have Jorge Polanco back by the middle of that White Sox series,
Yeah, that'd
which
be
is
great.
that's going to be a big ad for the Twins.
Because
Tiger update, he's 2 over.
just a little, we won't talk about this, but Max Kepler in the leadoff spot looks odd.
But it looks like without the shift, it might work.
He might work without the shift, but I don't know about in the leadoff spot.
Fair enough.
With that, let's transition to Vikings Vision. Just a little touch on Vikings news here. So, rumor has it that Kirk was almost traded again.
At the Combine this time. And this one tied to, again, one of those teams that had interest in him previously, right? In the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, that relationship was probably an open door between Kwesi and that front office after that being where he left. Were you interested to hear this? Especially, again, comments like this off the back of people openly admitting, hey, we're not going to extend you, does seem to lead to where there's smoke, there's fire, no?
The smoke was there last year, though, too. At the same spot, at the Combine.
Yeah.
So, what... Here's the thing. What really is this, right? There were rumors of Kirk Cousins to the 49ers at the scouting combine. So is that Kwesi talking to John Lynch and a reporter overhearing it? And they're just like, they've worked together for 10 years. They're just kind of BSing back and forth about like what the Niners would look like with Kirk. Because we all know the Niners would look really good with Kirk.
Yeah.
So is that truly trade talks? Like, how serious are the talks here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not hearing there was a trade proposal. This is what it looked like.
Yeah,
We're not even to that point, right? I don't know how seriously I take this. Just because Kwesi does have a good relationship with the guys in the Niners. Like, and it could just be...
I would.
We'll talk about it with the Aaron Rodgers thing, too. Sometimes people say this is a report. It's not a report. One guy overheard it and then said, this is happening. It's like, no. And then 25 sources run with it.
Yeah.
So
do you guys really think, though, that they would play with this if the coach wasn't behind it?
Hearsay, Your Honor.
What do you mean?
I'm saying, like, if you're KOC and they're fucking with your starter, like, messing with his head that they're
Anything
trade him.
KOC has ever said is that Kirk is his quarterback.
Right,
True,
but
that's while Kirk is here. There is a you listen to Score North and and we're not admittedly as close to the organization as some of these other shows, and that's fine. So I take their word for what they're saying because they're plugged in with the individuals that they have on. And the thing that I repeatedly hear is that Kevin O'Connell was very evidently brought in to identify the successor for Kirk Cousins and move the franchise forward. Kirk Cousins is not going to be here for another 4, 5, 6 years.
I think Kirk knows that, though.
Right,
too,
and I think Kirk knows
that's
that.
why there's no hard feelings.
Now, on top of that, with that being the baseline for operations, I think with Kwesi being a sell high, buy low, like value kind of guy, you're not going to get a better market for Kirk Cousins than you have this offseason. So I would watch this very carefully as we get closer to the draft. If the Lamar thing goes sideways, I think it's an option. If the Jets can't get Rodgers, that's an option. If for some reason the Colts get leapfrogged and they can't get their guy, Kirk is an option. So you can actually get value back for him in a year where we don't have a lot of draft picks. And instead of just letting him walk for free, next year, if we don't re-sign him, we had Kirk Cousins for 8 years and all we did was pay him. We got nothing back in return. And I don't feel like that's how Kwesi operates.
Well, okay. Yeah.
We've had him that long.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Right.
I just think I think you're asking a lot of him to just be cool with those trade rumors after the year that he, like, in his head, if you're him, the year that he put up and the numbers he, you know what I mean?
He had a phenomenal year.
I get where you're
he's not
coming
a baby,
from, but literally coming out of college, he was drafted in the 4th round after a first-round quarterback on his same team.
Yeah.
He watched that guy start for 2 years, then won the job. Then, after 2 years of starting and playing well with 4,000 yards in each season, he got franchise tagged twice or 3 times in a row.
Twice.
And then finally got a guaranteed deal in Minnesota. Minnesota's the only team that's ever actually even slightly bought into him.
But what does that mean to you?
And
though? Because
KOC bought into him way more than Zimmer did.
But I'm saying, if you're that guy, then what you're thinking is, Jesus, what the fuck do I have to do to get some appreciation here?
But here's
you
the
know
thing.
what I mean?
I
Like,
agree.
don't see
I
anything
agree with you
cool
wholeheartedly. But at a certain point, it's just like that appreciation isn't going to come.
Yeah, and the
So
other
you just
part
kinda-
is,
you
I
just kinda
agree.
move-
the other part of that question is, I think it's very evident that if you're going to sit there and be like, oh, what do I got to do? The answer is playoff success. This state, this fandom, this ownership group was
Rob
never.
Purdy has more playoff wins than Kirk Cousins.
Exactly. We were never more okay with Kirk Cousins than after that Saints win when he got his last contract extension. If you want to stick around, you got to win in the playoffs. All your regular season shit doesn't matter.
Hey, you know, I'm not defending Kirk. I'm just saying human nature. I don't see him like riding with this. I think that KOC is down with this, and I think that he's probably not thrilled. That's my feeling. But I know KOC's down with it because otherwise, like, he wouldn't do that.
Well, it's a genuine partnership between KOC and Kwesi. We've seen that wholeheartedly. And if Kwesi thinks he can get value for him and he can go to Kevin and say, hey, is this justifiable? Kevin is likely going to go, yeah.
Right. So I'm saying he's not really like that down for him.
No, absolutely.
I mean, he likes him, but right.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was the perfect jump off point for KOC, right?
Yeah, they better get rid of
Kirk Cousins is a top 5 quarterback in the NFC. If you look around the NFC right now, if not top 3.
But guess what? That's going to flip very quickly.
We'll see. It's gonna
ebbs
flip
and
in like
flows.
3 years is what it's gonna flip.
And do you still want to be
that's the
paying
window.
for Kirk Cousins?
Well, no, but Kirk has probably. That's the thing is like I do think you extended for one more after this year. Because here's the thing: that's how you can trade him if you want to. Play him out this year because you're going to draft a rookie quarterback that he learns from, and then you have him under contract to be able to trade him away.
Maybe. We'll see. I'm not behind it. What else we got for the Vikings?
Frank Gilliam, legendary former Vikings scout, passes away at the age of 89. Thoughts and prayers out to the Vikings organization and the Gilliam family.
Guy had been around the Minnesota Vikings for a very, very long time. Was a part of the scouting, department or player personnel dating back to like the Purple People Eaters. Like has been around the team for
one of the first black scouts in NFL history.
Exactly.
As well.
Been around the team for a very long time. One of those pillars of culture. I think he retired in 2007.
After being with the team since the 60s.
Yeah, so like a very long time with the team. Kind of
Literally helped build the Purple People Eaters of the 70s. And
I mean, just to think about it this way, you think about all the turnover that the Vikings have had, like even leading up to 2007. For him to constantly be around and have been a part of like the player departments that were with as early as Percy Harvin and Adrian Peterson and like all of those, like Randy Moss and Dante Culpepper and like those were all of our greats are a part of his legacy. So it's absolutely crazy to think that he's gone, and I hope that a lot of what he was taught or passed down through the organization stays, like genuinely.
Yeah, 100%. So that's all we have on Vikings news. I guess technically Minnesota news. U.S. Bank needs repairs.
Yeah. So apparently $48 million this year and $280 over the next 4 for a 7-year-old stadium. Is this cause for concern?
Holy shit!
Why?
What a fucking disaster.
it's a little bit of a
what
question.
happened?
Yeah,
What are
that's
the
kind of where I'm
repairs
coming
falling
from.
off?
Is like, why?
Is that what it is?
Because I was there this fall. It looked just fine to me.
I was there multiple times.
What we are hearing is
just fine, right?
what we are hearing are the expected repair costs are to come to play high travel areas like some of the nicer areas like the Treasure Island or Mystic Lake parts of the casino, along with, and we'll get to Jordan's comment here in just a second, along with the fact that because the Twins Target Field was originally built to be the venue for concerts and all of these things in Minnesota. The bank was not originally designed for that. It was designed for the sporting events. But what has happened is it has turned into our event center. And because of the high level of usage, it's way ahead of schedule on wear and tear. So now the Twins stadium decision is so bad that it's affecting us at U.S. Bank.
So should there not be some revenue because of those double booked events that should be going towards maintenance of the stadium?
That's what I would have thought.
Where did you hear that about that it wasn't meant to be a music thing? Because I thought it was.
Have you ever been to a concert there?
No, but I heard it's
acoustics
terrible.
are fucking
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
That
I
and
heard
Target
that from day
Center,
one.
absolutely dog. Like the X and the Armory are the best.
Oh, yeah.
X is actually really
the X
nice.
and the
The X
Armory
is really
are the
nice.
best.
And I don't
venues
know
we
why
have.
the X would lose business to,
They don't.
to that.
They are booked
to the
out
bank.
slammed.
Okay.
I think it's capacity.
Yeah.
It is, and now it's all these bigger names.
That's why
want to
they
sell more
lose.
tickets.
Because the X can only
Right.
hold 18.
So like you got Luke Combs is going to be in U.S. Bank,
And I will be there.
U.S.
Right.
Bank can hold what, 40?
60.
60.
Luke Combs.
Yeah, so you're talking
country
triple
singer.
ticket sales.
Yeah.
Literally. So
Well, yeah, because it can only hold 18,000, 20,000 at the X. So yeah, triple the ticket sales, but the sound quality there.
But you don't care about the sound quality as the artist. You care about the ticket
not
sales.
as
Yeah,
the
you
artist.
do.
No, you don't.
You give
Yes, you
zero
do.
fucks.
You care
It's
about the tickets.
If you're on
Care
tour,
about
you
tickets.
care about selling out. That's it.
Yeah.
You sell out.
I would
you
agree.
Make money.
Well, speaking of sellouts, Jordan Dino says this could be the Aaron Rodgers situation right now. Packers missed selling Aaron at the highest price, and now it's teams Jets aren't giving up their 13th. Sell Kirk at his highest. I would agree. If you're going to get,
I would agree, but it also leaves you without a quarterback this year, which is really tough because then you have Justin Jefferson. You have other
Unless-
contracts and stuff.
Just put
that
Tate
are-
Jettas as quarterback and wide receiver. He'll throw to himself.
unless you can go get a guy like Lamar Jackson. I'm just saying.
You really want to?
He's not a passer, Nicholas. We literally,
train and we're
like-
not.
Well, let's move on. Let's move on. What-
Daniel Jones would be a better passer. In the
Oh,
system.
stop it!
Statistically proven. It's statistically proven.
Get off.
All right.
How would you feel-
NFL hot corner. We got to go through these fast.
Yeah,
So
let's-
Derrick Henry drawing interest from the Cowboys.
Now, obviously, this would have to happen if he'd have to get cut by the Titans first, right?
So why would the Titans do that?
Good question. I don't know if they're going to be able to trade him.
Well, if there's interest.
Jeff
It's
Bezos.
true, but if this happens, the Cowboys could trade for him, but that's just not a very Jerry Jones thing to do, right? Is to make the trade. You're usually grabbing those guys out of free agency. That's how they've always operated. But do you think even Derrick Henry is good enough to calm the woes of Dak Prescott? Like, do you think this would make
because even
the
when
difference?
Zeke was Zeke in his first few years, Dak wasn't that. Dak was good enough to look really good for a rookie quarterback, which he still is, and that's the problem.
Yeah. Dylan, do we miss something with Tiger here?
No, he's 2 over. He just had a super close birdie putt, but he didn't make it. He was off by a blonde one.
Off by a blonde one. There we go.
A blonde one. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. That's what we're here for. We'll get to the Masters here in a little bit. So yeah, I'm not really buying this either. And he'd have to play for pennies on the dollar at Dallas, right? With their cap situation.
Yeah, but I mean, I personally do think that's probably a better chance at a ring than the Titans.
I would agree with you.
So
I would agree with you.
What's his motivation?
Exactly.
That's the question.
Yeah.
So let's pivot to the Cardinals. Former Cardinals exec Terry McDonough filed an arbitration claim today to Roger Goodell against Cardinals owner Michael Bidwell. alleging cheating, discrimination, and harassment. Bidwell said the claims are baseless. So this was during the suspension of one of their front office execs.
Correct.
And basically, Bidwell told everybody to use burner phones to communicate with this exec. Mm-hmm. And I believe Terry McDonough is the one who still has the burner phone and still has all the texts and everything. They're like, you guys are idiots. I literally still have the burner phone. It's right here. So the Cardinals are going down in flames. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens there because they purposefully broke NFL rules and then purposefully did not do the punishment that came with breaking the rules. And it was from the owner. So
I'm very
hot water.
There is a trend going on in the NFL. It feels like as they get ready to go completely global. Like it's an American sport now, but at some point the NFL is going to have global outlets. I think that is the next move for the NFL.
I think the next division that we see develop is 2 teams in England and 2 teams in Germany.
Correct. And I think under the NFL banner, before they do that, they're going to
Germany team name.
They're going to clean house. I really do think that.
Hey, come on, I'm just joking.
I really do think that, and I think you're going to see guys like Dan Snyder got pinned. This is going to get pinned. They're going to start going after the owners that are not good for the brand or the well-being of the sport overall. And so situations like this are going to continue to pop up.
It's not good.
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily the NFL going after those owners, but it is those owners showing themselves as not being good for the brand, right?
We know that all this shit's been corrupt for years. Like, come on, let's be real here. Let's be full disclosure.
True, but
how fucking corrupt is this entire system? NCAA,
I agree with you 100%. But the culture of outing wrongdoing is definitely a later trend.
Yes.
This is, I guarantee something happened and somebody else didn't like it. And that's why it's coming out.
Well, I mean, Bidwell got fired.
They're trying to fuck.
McDonough
got fired. And so he was like, oh, you gonna fire me? Right. Cool.
I'm bringing you down.
But there's got to be some underlying bullshit in all of this.
There's underlying bullshit in literally everything.
Yeah.
But again, the trend, I agree with you. I really do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. The trend, though, Dill, is that people are starting to come out.
Yeah.
Because in the 90s, if Terry McDonough gets fired, he just goes or gets hired by a different team. Right. He doesn't say, no, hey, Roger Goodell, look at this shit.
And do you know what's pouring gasoline on the fire? It's the fact that for the first time ever, the other owners are about to remove another owner. That's never happened in football before. Wow. And so the fact that Dan Snyder is being forcibly removed, now guess what? Ooh. Now there's precedent to forcibly remove other owners.
I was going to say other owners are going to be like, hey.
I know that you've been cheating, motherfucker.
Hey. So when can we predict the demise of Goodell, though?
He just signed an extension.
Fuck him.
He just signed or what's expected to be another... I think it's an 8-year extension.
Who was it before Goodell, though? Pete Rozelle?
Yeah, I believe.
He wasn't great either, so I don't know.
I don't know. Goodell has been better. Goodell has had some black eyes, but...
He has been better than Rozelle.
He has been much better than Pete Rozelle.
Not a fan.
So...
Well, Rozelle...
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Rozelle didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
Well, so one dumpster fire to the other.
Then. Yeah. So Sixers owner Josh Harris seemed to be the favorite to buy the Commanders, but Jeff Bezos may put in a late and big bid. Thoughts on Jeff Bezos owning a team in the nation's capital?
Is this not a conflict of interest with him owning Amazon and Amazon just having bought the rights to Thursday Night Football?
He's not CEO anymore.
Oh, that's right.
So he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
That's right. That's wild. Do you think he really is just waiting for Joe Harris to be like 250 and him go 251 and fucking just like snipe it out from under him?
He's sitting in the background. He's just going to wait. He's pulling the strings and be like, yeah, boom.
Because Joe Harris right now is the expected front runner.
As dumb as this sounds, like if you have that kind of money and wanted to buy an NFL team,
why would you buy the Commanders?
Why would you buy the Commanders?
Because he probably has the money to repair the stadium.
It's a political move.
That's God, Dylan.
Dude, he wants to be in Washington more often.
He wants to be in Washington, D.C. because he's got billions of dollars and can influence people that are in Washington, D.C. God damn, dude.
You're welcome. It's a fucking.
Do we just become best friends? You want to go do karate in the garage?
Have you watched the show Succession?
Like, seriously though, that is what that is. It's him eyeing
CEO
being
Amazon,
in Washington D.C.
He's playing puppet.
So I hope to God, for the safety of this country, Josh Harris becomes the next Commanders owner.
Or it's the only available NFL team, and it's
the Broncos were just up for sale.
He also has enough money that he could approach any owner in the NFL and say, "Hey, I will pay you X amount of dollars."
And Gabe, he he could have. You don't think he could have outbid the Penners?
It's a yearly moneymaker. Like it's just a fucking guaranteed moneymaker.
But Gabe, why not go buy a team that's in better condition? He could have outbid the Penners for the Broncos, and he didn't.
He could buy 4
He's from
NFL
Seattle.
teams.
He could approach them and just say, "I will give you this." And
he was going through his divorce too.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, he had to pay that lady.
I'm just saying, there's almost a team up for sale every 1 or 2 years. It seems like.
No,
they're becoming more and more. It's becoming more and more regular. The Chargers are next.
Yeah, Chargers are next. And the Chargers one is really interesting, and we should talk about that sometime because if they don't sell before Herbert's contract is up, Herbert is gone.
Yeah.
Write it down for next week.
Who owns the Chargers?
Well, it's
the Spanos family.
It's like a next year thing, yeah.
Do we like the Wilfs?
No.
Ooh, perish the thought.
I personally love the Wilfs compared to other owners in the past. Is there room for improvement? Yes. But are they better than owners in the past? 100%.
Absolutely.
What do they not do great?
Be involved.
Yeah.
Or have a fucking opinion.
They're not here, right? So
absentee owners, but all right, from one political takeover to politicians making stupid comments.
Oh, there's a good transition.
You want to take this, Mike? Go ahead.
Jill Byron.
To be honest, my opinion on this is that this was from a place of ignorance.
100%.
I don't think she meant anything wrong. I really don't think she had ill-meaning, connotation with the words that she said. I think it was purely ignorance. She basically mistakenly invited the loser of the NCAA tournament as well as the winner to the White House.
Okay,
and got absolutely blasted.
Before we run down this rabbit hole and this be what potentially cancels us, this show actively tries to avoid politics.
It's not even a political statement.
It's not even a political statement. But here's what I'm going to say. I'm pretty sure that for a very long time, there was a lot of the public that was screaming from the rooftops, how can you have a president or somebody in the White House that doesn't have their tweets approved? And now we've got Jill saying stuff like this. Like, once again, if you're going to hold the standard for one, hold the standard for the other.
Before we get on that.
Accidentally inviting a college basketball team to the White House because you're ignorant is nothing like possibly starting World War III from your toilet at 4 a.m. We'll just leave it there.
I wasn't going to be able to slide that one past you?
No. Damn it. Are you kidding me?
And if you really think that Joe or Jill is actually doing this shit, you're high.
Yeah, 100%.
You're high.
Yeah.
No, she got really baked for it all over media yesterday.
And deservedly so. But to her credit, I really don't think she knew any better.
No.
I don't think it was like Shannon Sharp came out and blasted her because Iowa is all white females.
Yes.
I don't think that was why.
I don't know.
Personally. I think it was out of ignorance and because, dude, it reminded me of my mom. You watch a sports game with my mom, the Vikings will be winning the game, and she's like, oh, that poor other team. Oh, the poor Bears.
I don't know.
Go Bears.
We
and I'm
have
like,
a saying
Mom,
in our house.
Screw the Bears.
We don't promote losing.
That's true.
Okay? And that's with any game. Card game, yard game, any game. We don't promote losing.
Gabe, you got news?
There is no such thing as losing. Question.
Sure.
Who gives a fuck about this? I'm trying to figure out why this mattered. Like,
to be honest, it was.
I don't mean you guys. I mean how this became a national
huge story because Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, the two stars of the teams, have been in the news cycle a ton recently because of what happened at the end of the game.
Yeah.
She mock her at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But it's like what?
And this basic. Well, here's the thing. It sets a precedent that the losing team comes as well, which has never been done before.
Ever.
I just say you fucked up. We fucked up.
Yeah, and that's what she did. She came out and said, "Oh, hey, I apologize. I was not actually invited. That's what it was. It was an old lady who was like, "Oh, those girls actually worked really hard too. Poor girls there," and then just invited them. It wasn't because they were white and from Iowa. Come on.
Right. This is a lady who, if you turn on the microwave, she falls down and shits herself.
Exactly.
You can't exactly hold her to the standard.
Thank you.
Is that a cliff?
Oh man.
All right. With that, let's move on to boxing because Jill just got knocked out.
Yes, nothing but smooth transitions today. Gabe, we've got a lot of news off the back of this Ryan Garcia stuff here now. And I know this segment isn't about him. He's not even on here. But here's something that I will say for the individuals that wonder if Ryan Garcia can save boxing. He booked one super fight, and all of a sudden, look at all the super fights that we haven't been able to get forever that just started popping up. Now we've got Haney versus Loma.
I'm sorry, I got to ask.
Yes.
Am I that disconnected? Because I've heard of Canelo.
You are.
You've never heard of Ryan Garcia?
I've heard of Ryan Garcia.
But yes, Mike.
I've heard of Garcia and Davis and Canelo. But those are the three names.
Not Spence and Crawford?
Lightning.
So here's the thing.
Am I that disconnected?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Wait, did you say Loma?
Yes.
Well,
so Haney,
you're that disconnected. There hasn't been a lot.
This has been what's been holding boxing back.
Golden era.
This is what has been holding boxing
back.
back.
Revamp now.
Okay.
This is all.
And that's the thing is like I don't think that I'm in the minority.
You're not.
Right?
You're not.
What happened is Mayweather killed the super fight in his run of being undefeated, and people stopped paying attention to boxing.
Undefeated.
Right.
Fucking bullshit.
So he killed the super fight because
fight
his super fights were Pacquiao 10 years past his prime. Now Ryan comes in and he's a 20-year-old putting his undefeated streak up, and they're doing a bunch of good media, and it's two charismatic individuals, and all of a sudden the other two kings and a deal that we haven't been able to get for the last 5, all of a sudden bang bang they both get done.
Look at that.
You know what I mean? And then it's
okay. So out of ignorance, I'm going to ask this.
Sure.
Why is it a lot like these guys belong to a World Boxing Federation or something along those lines?
There's a lot, yeah.
But they're part of an organization together.
WBC.
Well, the WBC, it's weird because
wherever you hold your belt.
It's wherever you hold your belt. They have you. Then you sign a fight deal. You have the belt. Then you sign a fight deal with a promoter. And then sometimes you have to take care of in-house business, which is you have to fight other people inside the promotion.
See, so that
versus
needs to be
people with other belts.
And then you got to fight.
That's been boxing's issue for years.
Because
fighters,
boxers, in my opinion, should be given fights. Like they should be. It should
like
be
the UFC.
Yes.
Right. You have to
100%. But here's the thing.
But this is all betting and prize fights. That it all comes down to numbers.
Floyd
You can
Mayweather
still bet.
learned how to use Floyd Mayweather learned how to use the belts and the promotions as the line in the sand that he wouldn't cross.
Right.
So other boxers who wanted to emulate that type of success began to do the same thing, right? No, we totally got you, Gabe. So let's go through these fights one at a time here. First of all, thoughts on Haney versus Loma, Gabe. That one finally getting done. I think
it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, like honestly, it's like we're getting it. This is like a golden era. I love Loma. I think he is so awesome. He's vulnerable here because Haney's going to be a lot bigger when he puts his fluids back in.
Yeah, the rehydration clause.
Yeah, that sounded weird, but yeah, no, I mean, what an exciting fight. I'd love to see that fight.
Do you think you got to think it's a Loma knockout versus a Haney point up and decision win? Correct. I don't think Haney's going to go out there and knock out Loma.
I don't know. I don't think so. I really don't think so. It's a point fight, but I think it's a fascinating one because it's two really skilled guys. In fact, what blows me away is that I feel like I'm more interested in that than Spence and Crawford.
Right.
They're the two best fighters.
Well, and but that's probably because you've got a little bit of atrophy for the fact that we talked about this for how many years, Gabe? I mean, me and you have addressed this specific scenario on this show for the last 2.5 years 2 years that we've been on the air.
Yeah, no, they're doing the old school boxing thing, which is like just sap this fucking fight until no one we barely give a fuck anymore. And now it's going to happen.
But guess what? Now it'll do the buys it needs because boxing has the eyes that warrant the contract signing. Because the fact that this is coming out while everybody in the world is watching Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, they can piggyback pay-per-view sales off this. They went,
ships will rise.
Now we'll do it. Now, so we'll do it now, right? So who do you got in the Spence Crawford fight? Do you think
Crawford?
Ooh, really? Because I got Errol Spence.
No, I'm Crawford all the way. I think he's the best fighter in the world.
I'm a massive Errol Spence fan. Yeah. I'm a massive Errol Spence fan.
He's great.
I'll ride that train.
Bud Crawford is something different, man.
Absolutely. All right, so last thing on boxing then is...
I think Devin Haney, though, is also like
that level.
Exceptional.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
Because he's such a baby face. Like, he looks like a piss pant.
Yeah. He came up right alongside Tank Davis. They've got history, which is very interesting. But then we've got Canelo Alvarez news. So he's getting ready to fight on the 6th this upcoming month. Will be his return since his first loss since Floyd Mayweather, which is hella impressive. And off the back of the Benavidez fight versus Caleb Plant, which was, if you haven't seen it, take 5 minutes today and go watch those two just walk into each other the entire fight. It was brutal.
Very good fight.
A spin now around who Canelo is going to take on off the back of this tune-up fight, which is an assumed win. You should never assume a win off a loss. But, Gabe, who would you rather see Canelo face? Benavidez or a rematch against Dimitri Bivol?
Rematch against Bivol.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I want to see him get killed.
Because
I hate Canelo.
Interestingly enough, I wanted to talk about this because I sent you that tweet last night. What did you think about watching the overhead and some reporters then going kind of, well, I mean, on points, I had Canelo.
I think
if you watch the overhead view.
I think it was watched by a fan who loves Canelo.
Okay.
I just wanted to see something. Like, I don't know why that was so compelling. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I get it. You watch any fight from any angle, you see different stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not like, oh, that changes it. Like, we saw the fight. He looked like he got beat. But
do you think he stands a chance at all against Bivol?
No. That's why I want him to fight him. I mean, he does. He has a puncher's chance, of course. But no, man. I think it's his sun is starting to set. He can't accept it, and I hope it's happening. I don't know why I hate him so much. I just want him to get through these two fights and still be Canelo. I'm okay if he loses, but I still want him to be Canelo. Like, I'd like to see the Benavidez fight. I'd like to see the Bivol fight, and then he can be done. Does it help if I say that he hates Garcia, who we both love?
No, it does not help.
Damn it.
All right. With that, let's check in on the Masters and the Tour 54 golfers that are there.
Yeah. The Tour 54. Dylan.
Is that what that is?
Fill us in on the
Live
Masters,
golf.
buddy.
Live golf. I read it as 54.
Right now, Victor Hovland's up.
Oh, that's funny. I've never heard that.
He's 5 under right now through 9. He's actually playing.
I can't tell if he was being serious or
No,
not.
I'm serious.
What?
Go ahead.
My Tour 54 joke.
Oh. Anyways, Hovland's up right now. He's 5 under. He's paired up with Tiger this week. Tiger just shanked one over.
Hovland is 5 under.
He's 5 under. He made an eagle on the first hole. He's been on the bird.
Came out.
He's been coming up swinging. We got John Rahm 3 under. Freddie Couples
Okay.
out of nowhere 2 under.
Has Rory teed off yet?
I'm just looking at all these names. Kepka's 2 under. There's your live golf guy. So I was all over Twitter reading the news this week. A lot of these guys don't actually hate each other at all.
No.
And
they understand.
They're very understanding, but also then you have
got to protect your brand.
Some people like Patrick Reed that everybody hates.
Well, I heard Rory is the one who might take offense to the live guys.
No, and actually, Rory played one of his practice rounds with Brooks Koepka.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
are they letting live guys play?
There's a bunch of them that still technically have their invite. They qualified because of the recency.
And because it's the Masters, it's not a PGA event; it's a USGA event, and it's not sanctioned by the PGA. So live golfers technically can play in any USGA event, meaning the US Open as well.
Yeah.
And if you've won in the past at the Masters, you have a forever invite. They can never revoke that from you.
Which I think is one of the coolest
like Patrick
things.
Reed, Dustin Johnson, live golf guys, it's Sergio Garcia. They can always come back. Bubba Watson. All those guys will be back forever, even if they're at live. It doesn't matter.
Do we know, like...
They can't revoke your jacket.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the final rosters. Who's got the stronger roster between live and PGA?
Well, we talked about this last week, right?
Did we? I don't remember this at all.
We touched on it a little bit.
We did. I mean, in all honesty, if you want... I mean, if they ever did an event like a Ryder Cup
That'd be
kind of
awesome.
a thing, which I hope they do.
So PGA would never go for it.
But the PGA is so old school, they wouldn't. But how much money they would make? What?
So proposal for you then. Do you see, and as there's a lot of mystique around the Masters, and the committee around Augusta has very evidently made sure that it is the pinnacle of golf.
If a live guy wins this week, is that what you're asking me?
No, but do you see this being the thing that truly does elevate Augusta even further, because it might be the only venue where you're going to get cross play between
become the World Series.
Exactly.
Literally, yeah. And I mean, it'll be very, very evident this week. And if one of the live guys wins it's going to be a.
Not even. I mean, even if they're around, could you imagine? It's on Sunday and it's JT versus Dustin Johnson, or
I'd rather see DJ win.
well, you know what I'm, but it's true, but then it truly comes down to PGA versus Live, and that's what'll seal this thing up for storyline.
See, but that's what pisses me out. Go ahead, but go.
No.
I think there shouldn't be like it's Live or PGA. Like, I like golf for golf. I don't technically watch Live because they have shitty coverage and their media is terrible.
Yeah.
But I still love watching Dustin Johnson play and Brooks Koepka. Like, they're fun to watch play golf.
Yeah.
And I am excited to actually watch them. I haven't legitimately watched them play golf for a long time because I don't make the time for it because there's other golf on that I do want to watch.
Yeah.
Which I don't think if you're a fan of golf, you should just be a fan of golf, not Live or PGA.
I would go ahead, Gabe. Do you have something?
Is there a chance that Live folds in 5 years?
No.
Not
so
at
much
all.
money.
I mean, I know it's Saudi money.
I shouldn't say that.
I mean, I know it's Saudi money, but I heard that they're struggling.
They're
right
struggling
out of the
with
gate.
their media. So they're on the CW on Saturday and Sunday, and that's the thing. They don't have a cut line. They're in team format, and
it is hard to digest.
It's hard to figure out. They play basically best ball, lowest score wins. And
that's great for your casual golf fan, but your old school champion of golf type fan, your true player of the game.
The people that are actually sitting there on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, even like the Masters is the most watched tournament every year.
Yeah.
Every single year by far. And guess what?
It's a hell of a shot out of the bunker.
Free. Every year is watching for free.
Yeah.
You can stream it online, CBS, all of it is free.
Does Live need the U.S. market, the media market, to be successful?
Yes, they do.
Because I can see them getting closed out because of political reasons.
They have to have the U.S. market, and they.
Why do you think so many of those guys showed up at Augusta?
Right.
They have made a stance against PGA, PGA events or being affiliated with that brand. They've stood firm on that, and then they send a lot of their guys here. It's because they're trying to grab attention.
Yeah.
Dark horse pick
to win.
Somebody
random.
Just a dark horse.
Torres.
I was gonna say,
if you were to bet $100 and try to win 10 grand. If I'm betting money
right now to make 10 grand, Will Zalatoris.
Okay, I love that.
Hands
pick.
down.
I love that pick.
I mean, first year.
He's already got a top 10, doesn't he?
He was a runner-up.
Yeah. Yeah.
His first year there.
Oh yeah.
Almost fucking won the thing.
Let's go.
I mean, that or Victor. Victor and Willie Z are both really love them.
Tiger.
Ow.
Come on.
He's already struggling right now. He's 3 over.
A lot of golf left. All right. Anything left on the Masters, Dill?
Who would you guys actually predict to win?
There was a name I heard yesterday. Younger guy.
Cameron Young.
No, it's
John Rahm.
Cam Smith.
It's in Eastern, a Far East name. It has a Will Huson or something like that. I can't remember. But they basically laid out his entire resume, and he's had 4 straight top 10 finishes. He finished top 5 last year at the Masters. His resume itself is building to a Masters win.
Oh yeah.
But he's also like a 90
to 1
good
odds
to win the whole thing.
There we
so
go.
it's like that.
Coming back, baby.
I can't remember his name, but that was a really good bet, I thought, when I was listening to the radio yesterday.
Well,
Tiger's sitting at +3.
If I could pick one guy that's been playing solid the last year and a half, and you know what? I've been up and down on him in the past couple of years, but I want to see Rory get his Grand Slam.
I do too.
Yeah, it'd be really fun to see.
It would be
Rory
really cool to see
Rory get it done. But that's all I have on that.
Sweet. I think we got one last thing to wrap the show here, Mikey.
Yeah. I'm sorry. This is bugging me, so I'm looking
I was looking up the name.
SM. Who's that?
Sanjay M.
Yeah, that guy.
There you go.
He's really
That
good
guy.
too.
That's
He's
my pick.
Really good.
That's my pick.
Oh, fair enough.
Been solid last 2 years.
All right. With that, final segment, right?
That's right.
Is going to be the continuation of our MLB 30 under 30 list.
That Gabe doesn't understand.
Holy buckets. There's a lot of 25-year-olds that we have to talk about.
Yeah, so let's go through the list now that we've added in our 26-year-olds from last week. From 1 all the way down, Shohei Ohtani, Bryce Harper, Mookie Betts, Aaron Judge, Francisco Lindor, Rafael Devers, and Yordan Alvarez are the ones that shake up the list from last week. Alex Bregman, Xander Bogaerts, Ozzie Albies, Carlos Correa, Sandy Alcantara, and Julio Urias. Mike, any gripes with the list so far?
No Cunha?
We haven't done the 25-year-olds yet. We're doing them today.
No, that looks that looks right.
There we go. Look at that. Me and Mike agreeing on ranking players.
Wow.
You heard it here first.
Maybe Sandy a little higher.
Maybe Sandy a little higher?
Because of what he just did to the Twins.
Maybe just bump him. Maybe just flip him and Correa?
You have to. He dominated Correa himself, right?
That's true. I mean, we'll make the adjustment next week.
With that, let's touch on the 25-year-olds. We actually have 5 of them.
Yeah, and we can start with the hitters first, right? So 3 hitters on this list, and then we'll do the 2 pitchers.
Okay.
The hitters are Ronald Acuna Jr. and Austin Riley from the Atlanta Braves, and then Adley Rutschman, the young phenom catcher for the Orioles. Mike, thoughts on these guys right here?
Adley Rutschman is this generation's Buster Posey or Ivan Rodriguez or name next catcher here, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be on his team for 15 to 20 years, a staple of their lineup defensively and offensively. You already know that he's that, and he's only 25, right?
Yeah.
So that is who Adley Rutschman is going to be. He's going to be behind the plate for the Orioles until he's 35. So
he won't go to first base in 2 years.
And for those of you
go into the Hall of Fame in another 20, Gabe.
I was just, Gabe, me and you were on the same track. I was about to alert all Twins fans to if you are looking for a catcher who can actually hit, Adley Rutschman is where to go.
He can hit the ball in the air.
3 batting titles, gentlemen. 3 of them. All right, Ronald Acuna Jr. Talk about this guy.
Actually, when doing this list, I thought he was either 26 or 27. To look up and notice that he's 25 and to have done what he has already done and be as good as he has consistently been for such a long time, I go, oh, this guy's like a top 5 player in baseball. And quietly,
he is what young kids want to be when they play shortstop.
Oh, 110%.
Hit for power, hit for contact. Great speed on the base paths, amazing glove in the field. He is the 5-tool player, like you said, probably a top 5 player in all of baseball.
Oh yeah, and sets the culture too. Like obviously there's on-field guys and then there's locker room guys, and sometimes you don't have both. He is the organization for Atlanta. He flipped that whole team around.
100%.
They were staking their hopes on guys like Jason Hayward, and then Ronald Acuna showed up. And having a guy like Ronald Acuna will allow you to let go of a guy like Freddie Freeman to make room for a guy like Austin Riley. That's how you make that decision. And Austin Riley is no slouch either.
No, absolute power. Right?
Yeah, that guy rakes. Like he makes a lot of pitchers look real dumb.
Yeah, it's just the fact that it's just like Braves.
Braves,
yeah.
Damn it, Tiger.
The Braves.
3 players in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. We know why the Braves are so freaking good, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Young on top of it.
And by the way, have you seen Spencer Strider? If he's not on this list, you should look. That dude is fucking unreal.
Okay.
He really looks like a potential like future, maybe more like a Smoltz than a Maddox. But like, holy shit.
Well, they've got Max Fry, Max Fried out there too. Like they've got so much talent.
Ian Anderson, they are stacked.
They're just absolutely.
But I'm telling you,
stacked.
Watch Spencer Strider. He's like
I mean, I heard about him like 2 years ago, even.
Well, last year was his rookie year, and he was outstanding. He should have won this. He should have won Rookie of the Year.
But didn't he have like a ridiculous stat line, like in AAA or something before that?
I believe so.
Like there was something about him like 2 or 3 years ago, even.
He's like so smooth, like his mechanics and shit, and he just. And
or did he win
a changeup this year? But he's the guy who struck out like. I want to say he struck out like 16 in his rookie year, like
And that was last year.
Yeah,
okay, maybe that's
something like that. Like I mean, he's got.
There was. I was gonna say there was something that he did that was just like bananas, right?
Yes, that like he had a game like that, and I don't know the numbers. I could look it up, but otherwise, there's also Detmers for Cincinnati, who threw the no-hitter last year. So he did not have a great rookie year.
Well,
yeah, threw the no-hitter, so he's got crazy stuff. And now he started off red hot this year.
Yeah.
And they're saying one of the best left-handed curveballs in the game.
Oh, yeah. Well, if we're talking about great pitching, why don't we bump over to the 2 great pitchers that are on this list at 25, huh?
Yeah, so Alex Manoah is one of them. And then, honestly, probably one of my favorite pitchers in the entire game right now, Tristan McKenzie.
Yeah.
Is the other.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Learning that Alek Manoah's MLB debut was against the New York Yankees in New York in the middle of that absolute power tear that they were on last year, and he shut them out in 7 innings and fanned 9 guys. I was like, oh, that's one way to start your career. And then he never came off that level. He is so ridiculously consistent.
He's like instant ace.
Oh, just add water. Like, that's who Alek, like they were hoping it was going to be Barrios. Manoah got there and supplanted him immediately.
Right.
Immediately.
We got him.
And then when we were talking before the show, I'm shocked McKenzie only throws 93 with his fastball.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's it?
I thought he was like 98.
No.
I was
Right?
waiting to say how much I love skinny guys who can fucking throw fire.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know how he
What the
does it,
fuck?
but it definitely seems faster than 93, and I bet it does for hitters too.
Well, it's because of his length, right? So I remember who was the very tall closer that the Twins had a while back? Had tattoos.
J.C. Roush.
J.C. Roush, okay?
Is that right?
That might be right.
He had the neck tattoo.
Yes.
Gabe would know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So when he was a reliever or our closer, they had Twins actually. I watched Aaron Gleeman do an article on like perceived speed with guys that are that long because of their reach. By the time they're releasing the ball, 92, 93 on the gun looks like 97, and it's super deceptive.
John Roush, yeah.
So that would make sense to me if that's kind of what we're experiencing in Tristan McKenzie. And
How tall is he?
He's like 6'3", I think.
But even that for a pitcher, like, and he's long. I mean, the guy's hands at his sides touch his shins.
He's 6'5", 175 pounds.
That's a long guy.
Yeah. Long and
108
skinny.
pounds?
180 basically, but yeah.
He's baseball's equivalent to Kevin Durant. That is the Slim Reaper on the mound.
Well, I
right
just
there.
love his
That's
throwing
how Pedro
motion too.
Martinez
I
came
can
in the
sit
league.
and watch
Yep.
him pitch all day long.
Look at that.
Oh, it's effortless.
He's so, that's what I was going to say. He is so like
Smooth.
Yeah.
Just looks easy.
You want to talk about two guys that are absolute, that could not be more different on the mound
Yeah.
than Alek Manoah and Tristan McKenzie.
Yeah. Manoah looks like a catcher that's just using his entire body to throw the ball 97.
Manoah looks like he looks like, actually, somebody made this comp to me, and I was like, do I buy it? He looks like Clemens.
I was going to say early CC.
Yeah, early CC too is super.
He swung that high?
Yeah, I'd say he looks like CC more. Well, let's see.
Early CC, right? Before he gained all the weight.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. To me, he almost doesn't look like either of them.
Really?
Not quite. I mean, he does like physically, fat guy, but yeah.
Kurt Schilling, maybe?
Well, and he just throws with his body. Like he's
He does.
falling off the mound because he's pushing so
Yeah,
hard,
I
right?
just saw that. He fell off way to the left to the first base side there. Huh.
I wonder if that's going to be a
usually
problem.
not good.
I was going to say, I wonder if that's going to be a problem for
He
him
did it there,
because
too.
Francisco Liriano did that, and that led to a lot of accuracy issues. And it's what led to his elbow issues.
Well, what
'cause
it
he was
can
so
do is
open.
it can lead to the elbow, right? Because you're opening your hips enough that you're basically snapping with your elbow down. You can see it.
Boom.
Folks, this is why we do this show, because we are a brain trust and we can identify problems on the run and alert you to them before these players actually hurt
So
themselves.
Manoah's great now,
Tristan
but
McKenzie's just
Yeah.
fucking awesome to watch.
hey,
though.
McKenzie. Remember, McKenzie was my dark horse
To
as
win the
my-
Cy Young
as
this
my
year.
Cy Young, yeah. So with that, we will rank these guys into our list that we have
Next week.
compiled, and then we'll talk about where they kind of fall in the top 30 for under 30. And then that's pretty much it.
All right,
go
last
ahead and
minute.
do the lead out?
Yeah, absolutely. Last minute update for the Masters before we get out of here.
Scotty Scheffler and Max Homa teeing off here shortly.
There we go.
Has Rory teed off?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
We haven't missed anything yet then. We haven't watched them. We haven't missed the leader tee off. So thanks for joining us as always, folks. Another great week of sports talk. Lots of stuff going on. We have lots of stuff for you next week as well. Mike, why don't you let them know where they should go share this show at and hit that notification bell so when we post new content, they can see it.
Yeah, as always, guys, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, Patreon, and Twitch. You can find us on local cable here in the Twin Cities area on MCN6. If you're not in the Twin Cities local area, you can use your Roku remote app and access MCN6 and access the show that way.
There you go. Dylan, say something motivating for the people before we get out of here.
Something
Motivating.
Yeah, come on, man.
Just say
Let's
something
have a hell of a
motivating.
fucking weekend, ladies and gentlemen. That's the fucking Masters.
There we go.
Stay tuned next week. We'll have special guests. Tune in.
About 30? About 35.